Government cheese wasn't just food, it was policy, poverty, and survival. You've probably heard the jokes, but the real story behind that big orange block is a lot deeper and more complicated than most people realize. It's a story that starts not in kitchens, but on struggling farms across America. In the late 1970s, American dairy farmers were in serious trouble. They were producing way more milk than the country could actually buy. This created a massive surplus, and when supply outpaces demand, prices crash. Farmers were on the brink of bankruptcy, and the entire dairy industry was facing a potential collapse. Seeing the crisis unfold, the U.S. government decided to step in. They launched a massive bailout program, buying up millions and millions of pounds of surplus milk, butter, and cheese to stabilize prices and save the farms. But this solution created a new problem. By 1981, government warehouses were overflowing with dairy products. We're talking caves and storage facilities packed to the ceiling with cheese. Some of it was even starting to spoil. The government had to do something with it, so they began packaging the cheese, mostly processed American cheese, into iconic 5-pound blocks. Now, here's a crucial point. This program wasn't originally designed as food aid for the poor. It was essentially welfare for farmers. Buying the surplus was a direct subsidy to keep the agricultural industry afloat. But with warehouses overflowing and storage costs piling up, the government had a product they couldn't sell without crashing prices again. So they decided to give it away. Through the Temporary Emergency Food Assistance Program, USDA trucks started delivering these cheese blocks to distribution centers nationwide, turning an agricultural surplus into a massive food relief effort. So why did government cheese become so deeply associated with Black communities? The program itself didn't target any specific race, but systemic inequality did. Decades of discriminatory practices, like redlining, had trapped Black families in neighborhoods with fewer economic opportunities. When manufacturing jobs disappeared in the 70s and 80s, these communities were hit the hardest. This created food deserts, where fresh, affordable groceries were scarce, and poverty rates were disproportionately high. As a result, Black families were more likely to rely on food assistance programs to make ends meet. They found themselves at the front of the line at churches and community centers, where these 5-pound blocks of government cheese were being handed out. It wasn't a choice, it was a necessity. For many, that block of cheese was a lifeline. It was the ingredient that stretched a meal when a paycheck ran short or when the corner store was just too expensive. It was a symbol of struggle, for sure, but it also became a symbol of incredible creativity and resilience. Black mothers, fathers, and grandparents took this simple, humble ingredient and worked magic. They melted it into the creamiest mac and cheese you've ever tasted, layered it in grilled cheese sandwiches, and scrambled it with eggs to make sure everyone in the family had a hot meal. They turned a block of cheese born from economic policy into comfort, nourishment, and survival. Ask any elder who lived through that time. They'll tell you that cheese wasn't a luxury, but it was what kept the family going. It filled bellies and brought people together around the table. In the end, government cheese tells the stories at once. It's a story of systemic inequality and the policies that left communities behind. But it's also a powerful testament to Black resilience, ingenuity, and the ability to make something beautiful out of hardship. Inequality created the problem, but community is what survived it. That block of cheese wasn't just food, it was history. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about the untold stories of our past, be sure to subscribe.